आईसीआईसीआई बैंक ने आज फिर सफाई दी है कि उनके पास नकदी की कोई कमी नहीं है और बैंक को कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। बैंक के एमडी के वी कामत ने हमारे सहयोगी चैनल CNBC TV 18 के मैनेजिंग एडिटर उदयन मुखर्जी से बातचीत में कहा कि बैंक के खिलाफ जानबूझकर कुछ ब्रोकर अफवाह फैला रहे हैं। उनके खिलाफ शिकायत दर्ज करा दी गई है।
Mr. Kamath, thanks very much for joining in. Let's start with the source of all these rumours. I believe you've identified yesterday that it's been a South Indian sub-broker who's been sending out these malicious SMSs which has caused this kind of panic in the market. Could you identify and share with us what the source, according to you, for this has been?
This is just probably one cog maybe in the whole wheel. So my own belief is that if you look at the anatomy of these rumours going back maybe 3 weeks, I think this is probably a much more deeper effort in terms of trying to either short the stock, destabilize the bank. I think either or, and probably both. So I guess this is just the start. What I'd like to say here is that in today's context, it is getting easier and easier to trace a chain of SMSs or emails. And I think if we take a stand that there is an offence committed, once this chain is let loose, I think then I'm sure people will be more cautious and will think before this is done. And that's the stand that we have decided to take, that we will report any such messaging to the authorities and follow up on that to see that action is taken.
But your initial investigations throw up that it's a market intermediary which has been responsible, or do you suspect it could be a rival financial institution which has been the source of such rumours?
I think at this point in time, this particular incident was probably a market intermediary. But I do not want to point fingers at anybody. That's probably what the enforcement and the authorities would need to look at. But what is clear to me, given the way the whole thing has been built up, orchestrated, is that there is indeed a malicious attempt to try to destabilize a financial institution in the country.
I'll just list out some of the rumours and SMSs which are doing the rounds in the market, Mr. Kamath, and ask you to, or request you to respond to each of them, however ridiculous they may sound to you, because that is what people seem to be hearing in the market today, so that you can clarify all those issues. One has been, and there has been a considerable amount of consternation on that ICICI Bank took a large interbank loan of 1,000 crores plus at 20% plus, which raised fears that the bank was having or facing liquidity problems. Is that indeed true, that you were party to such a transaction?
Udayan, I think it would not be right on any bank's part to disclose how it runs its treasury or its operations. But since you asked the question, let me put it in context. That was in a week when call rates were hovering at 22 to 24%. I don't think I have to say anything more. But okay, I will say one thing more. Reporting Friday for that week was last Friday, and we had no borrowings in the call on that day. So basically, I think things have to be looked at in context.
However, for a bank which has such liquidity as you have, and as you've been saying, that would have raised some eyebrows, a significant amount of money raised at a fairly significant rate, because people want to, in the past, the last 1 week, it seems they want to believe the worst of you. That might have created some amount of confusion?
No, I think this is, again, motivated in terms of what we are talking of. I think we have to look at what the system was borrowing at. And I think to me that is what is relevant. That was where the market was at that point in time. It's not a question of who borrowed what.
The other one which has been doing the rounds for the last 3 to 4 weeks has been that the promoters and top officials of ICICI Bank have been selling ICICI shares very aggressively in the market. Can you clarify and put an end to that?
Well, I think first of all, there are no promoters in the context of ICICI Bank. It's a widely held bank. To my knowledge, anybody who's been a very long-term holder of any magnitude has not really sold stock. As far as the management is concerned, I can categorically state, I repeat it, categorically state that executive management has not sold a single share, to my knowledge, maybe over the last 9 months to a year.
Fair enough. The other one which was the most surprising, which you would have heard as well, doubtless over the last 7 days, is that ICICI Bank has approached the government for some kind of a bailout, and there is a possibility that State Bank of India was looking to buy ICICI Bank or amalgamate with ICICI Bank in any way.
completely baseless, because as I said earlier, and I reiterate, ICICI Bank is a healthy bank. ICICI Bank has a capital adequacy, as I said, 1.5 times of what is required. ICICI Bank's profitability is not impaired. So where is the question of this sort of a situation rising? Let me assure the viewers that we have had no such thought in our mind, because we believe this is a healthy bank and will continue to be a healthy bank.
So there has been no discussion along these lines with either the Finance Ministry or with any public sector banking entity?
Absolutely not with any authority or any other entity.
कल आईसीआईसीआई बैंक ने मोतीलाल ओसवाल ब्रोकिंग एजेंसी के एक सब ब्रोकर के खिलाफ पुलिस में शिकायत दर्ज कराई थी। आईसीआईसीआई बैंक ने इस पर बैंक के खिलाफ अफवाह फैलाने का आरोप लगाया था। इसके बाद आज मोतीलाल ओसवाल के एमडी ने आवाज पर सफाई दी कि उनके आईसीआईसीआई बैंक के साथ अच्छे रिश्ते हैं और वो इस मामले में बैंक को सहयोग देने के लिए तैयार हैं, लेकिन बैंक को उनसे बात करनी चाहिए थी।
आईसीआईसीआई बैंक के साथ हमारा बहुत अच्छा रिलेशनशिप है एंड हमने उनके साथ हमने उनको कम्युनिकेशन भेजा है कि आप हमको थोड़ा डिटेल दीजिए, और हमने ये भी अपना एक ऑब्जेक्शन जाहिर किया है कि सिंस हमारा और आपका एक अच्छा रिलेशनशिप है तो आप कोई भी कंप्लेंट फाइल करने से पहले अगर हमसे बात कर लेते तो हम आपके साथ पूरा डिटेल के साथ कोऑपरेट कर लेते।